Get to the chopper!
You know what you are? You're one of those little fancy lads, aren't you?
Link and I are cruising the mountain, bro. We figure we'd some little juice.
Welcome, everybody, to another Qs and Tease installment of the Unkind Rewind. Sean and I are here talking ahead of our unusually long, for the teaser part, unusually long conversation with Tasha from SVU POD, especially Heinous.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. Really fun talk. I see you're back in New York, Sean. How is Nueva York?
It's good. Little quick trip to Chicago and back, but got some deep dish. That's all that matters.
Right on. And you got an EKG taken at the same time?
Yeah, I thought that was really funny, is that a storefront can have Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza and a urgent care. Like, there was also a Pizzeria Uno that was part of a gas station.
Okay.
I mean, they're all in for two birds, one stone in Chicago.
Limited space, I guess.
They like their deep dish. I don't know what to tell you.
They like it so much it's in a gas station or a fucking urgent care.
Oh, God.
Was Lou Malnati's good? I haven't had it.
Lou Malnati's is pretty good. That was just a walk by. Pequod's is where I had... That was a recommendation from friend of the show, Brian Mann. And yeah, they were very good. You can't really go wrong with bread and cheese and sauce.
Sure. I mean, it's better if the sauce is underneath the cheese, generally, in my book. But
yeah, it's not something I want every day. Good Lord.
And there's a lot of bread.
There's a lot, yeah.
And a lot of cheese.
And is it like cornmeal?
I'm not entirely sure. I've never understood the sort of
the
alchemical makeup of Chicago-style deep dish.
Have you ever made deep dish pizza?
No.
Oh, it's easy to make if you have a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're talking more Detroit-style deep dish then, right? You're not going up
Well, no, I followed a recipe.
Or like standard cast iron deep dish versus Chicago style is even weirder because, it comes up higher. The outside.
It is.
Yep.
But if you did Detroit, you'd have to do the...
squares, yeah.
The square style rectangular pan, which I don't have. So, yeah, I'm kind of stuck with my cast iron. But, yeah, there's ways to do it. Follow the recipe, boys and girls. Like, don't get crazy.
Yeah.
But
don't fuck around too much with it. You're wasting a lot of material if you fuck it up,
I want to say that there's like a layer of cheese at the bottom, then you sauce. Yeah, it's like, a lasagna.
Detroit style is definitely my preferred deep dish.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much anytime I'm anywhere near a place that has it, I get it.
Yeah, that crust, man.
Yeah. Did you do anything else in Chicago? He asks with a pregnant pause.
There was like a family friend wedding and saw some friends, which was great. Saw the ball game, the worst team.
Two worst teams, plural.
Yeah, really, really terrible teams trying not to win, essentially.
You could say that.
Yeah.
In this day and age, with the advent of starting any extra inning with a runner on second base, this game still managed to go 14 innings.
Yeah, and of course they lose, so you have to walk out with a bunch of Chicago White Sox fans who are,
it's old hat for them at this point. We've got 2 straight years of just abysmal.
An extra,
baseball.
40% of baseball?
Yeah.
Kind of was tacked onto that?
Mm-hmm.
That did not need to happen.
No.
For
no one. Yes.
They won the World Series, though, not too long ago. Coming up on 20,
19 years ago now.
Okay, well, go Twins, then.
The Twins are pretty high up there in the...
but they're not.
They're not. The Indians are... Sorry, Guardians. Guardians are dating back to, 48, but...
Mm-hmm. But the chances of getting back to the World Series probably better with the Guardians than the Twins.
This year, maybe, but I think long term, one of the two teams in the Central, I don't think the Royals are.
It won't be the White Sox either.
No, it sure won't.
No, if you're good, pack your bags because you're not staying in Chicago.
Of the older teams, because the Twins moved from Washington, of the older teams, Cleveland goes back farther. Pittsburgh goes back to 1979.
When they were real Pirates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on with you?
About to go up north to the family cabin for the 4th.
Pagan sacrifice stuff?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, we have a bunch of bodies that we've been collecting, and we're going to give them Viking funerals. Like everyone in the extended family is getting a Viking funeral.
Whether
so that should be cool.
Or not. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that should be fun.
Cool.
I don't know. I mean, just podcast bullshit,
Yeah.
Got two of these things.
That's the
Munch
life,
My Benson.
yo. That's the life.
I'm recording another Munch My Benson with Adam tonight after this, and I got to throw this together then, because, this drops tomorrow.
Money never sleeps.
No. and it's also rarely made in this business.
Neither does Josh Dugan.
No, I don't. It's not cool. Have you seen anything?
Yeah, I saw Furiosa finally.
Okay, how was it?
It was good. Yeah, it's not Fury Road, but it's good.
Was it as good as what you'd imagine Furry Road would have been, though?
No.
Okay.
No, Furry Road.
Furry Road is like my dream.
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah.
That sucks.
We rewatched The Equalizer last night.
Okay.
Because I had this. I'm sure you haven't seen either one of these, but I've watched Equalizer 3 and The Beekeeper relatively recently.
Haven't seen either.
And they both kind of have like one common thread. And while I was watching The Equalizer 3, shortly after having seen The Beekeeper, I was struck with the idea that these two need to be in a shared universe, and that the team-up movie would be The Beequalizers.
Yeah.
And so I'm seriously toying with writing this stupid fucking script. But anyway, so Jackie had not seen The Equalizer, and I was like, oh, he's going to equalize so much shit in this movie.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
He may have over-equalized.
He might have, because he equalized the fuck out of shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people criticize you for thinking that there can only be one kind of equal status. You can't.
Yep.
But not according to The Equalizer.
No, you can equalize so many things.
He can extra equalize you.
Yeah. For real.
And the situation.
Totally. So yeah, that was fun. Watched that last night. I watched. So for whatever reason, we've been talking about. Oh shit, this is way out of sequence. That's a season 2 episode. But we were this thing I'm about to talk about. So we were talking about J. Lee Thompson.
Okay. On
that season 2 episode that we did with Mike. And J. Lee Thompson directed a different Charles Bronson movie that we had not discussed, and it was The White Buffalo. And this all came about because Jackie on Saturday morning texted me and asking, have you seen this Charles Bronson movie, The White Buffalo? I was like, no, I haven't. But I looked it up, and it's directed by J. Lee Thompson, who I kind of have a weird fascination with, as just like a pulpy, he directed Death Wish 4. He directed Kenjite Forbidden Subjects, which is like one of the most insane movies ever. But he did a lot of weird late Charles Bronson movies. Like 80s.
Like Grindhouse shit.
Yeah, Grindhouse shit, for sure. But he also did a weird like ultra camp comedy in like 62 or 64 where Shirley MacLaine replaced Marilyn Monroe in the cast when Marilyn Monroe died. So like Shirley MacLaine was playing the Marilyn Monroe character. It's a very fucking weird movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. She was better than I thought she was going to be, but that's immaterial. So J. Lee Thompson directed this White Buffalo movie, and white buffaloes have been in the news because there was a white buffalo calf born in Yellowstone.
Naturally, where it should be.
Mm-hmm. As it should be. And so I was like, well, now I have to watch this movie. And the movie's nuts. The movie has Charles Bronson getting off the train. Yes, absolutely. It's on Tubi. He gets off the train in fucking Wyoming or wherever. Just maybe South Dakota. I think it's Wyoming. But he gets off the train and he's playing Wild Bill Hickok. So this is pre-1876. It's probably about 1874 if you were to ballpark it. He gets off the train and he's wearing fucking sunglasses.
Yeah.
He's wearing shades, and I was like, I don't know if that passes the test of time here. Were they wearing shades? Issues. But he's wearing them the whole movie because he's incognito.
A writer issue, dude. It was a writer. It's a Bronson movie.
That might be. But The White Buffalo is huge and animatronic and kind of hilarious. A strong recommendation if you like weird shit like that. But otherwise,
one of the only podcasts they're going to talk to you about The White Buffalo, folks. Like, let's be honest. One of the only.
Yeah, so that was a weird thing I've watched very recently.
All right, it's on the queue.
Did you see anything else?
Say no more.
I mean, you've been traveling, so.
Yeah. Well, Furiosa is good enough recommendation for this week. Sure. Especially if you can see it in the theater. What's still
it's still there. Yeah.
Loud.
Oh, we have some pod business to address.
Pod biz. Let's rifle through it.
Max was on last week for Return to Oz. Last 2 weeks, really. So Gopher Balls said, I have no memory of the actual movie, but I vividly remember the scathing and now poignant Siskel and Ebert review. Gene says if Roger comes to his funeral, he wants Roger to know his last thoughts would have been he wished his life had 2 more hours of happiness by not watching Return to Oz.
Damn.
Which made their year-end worst of 1985 list.
Wow.
Yeah, along with St. Elmo's Fire. St. Elmo's Fire deserves that.
Ebert probably did go to Gene's funeral.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
I wonder if he remembered that.
Hope so. And then Gopher Ball said that he didn't want Siskel's words haunting him on his deathbed, so he hadn't watched it. But the podcast was a fun listen, and the movie itself looks like a dark bummer.
It's dark.
Yeah. He also said he watched about 5 minutes and is now 99% sure he'd never watched it aside from clips and maybe a few minutes while flipping the channel. Yeah. So that happened. Will on Facebook said that it was one of his favorite movies growing up.
Yeah, there is some weird fascination for people with this.
And he watched it. He also watched it more than Wizard of Oz.
I could see that for a kid growing up that time.
For sure. If you had Disney Channel at the time.
Yeah. Your parents didn't give a shit.
Right. You had a TV that your parents weren't watching. Because I'm sure they wouldn't sit through it as much as,
No, this is not a family movie that you watch like every year like Wizard of Oz was.
Sure.
That was an appointment viewing.
Right. This is the kids downstairs watching TV in the basement again, and this movie's apparently fucking on forever.
Yeah, put it on and maybe we can get some work done around the house.
I bet the Venn diagram of people our age who saw this movie and people who had the Disney Channel is just a circle.
Yeah. Case in point, I did not see it, and I did not have the Disney Channel.
Sure, right. Same.
So, your theory stacks up.
Yeah. Hit us up in the comments section or on the Discord if that's also your
and you might say like, oh, well, I had a friend who had the Disney Channel. Yeah, that was Max. That was Max's situation.
Yeah. But you're not stumbling across this movie otherwise.
No.
Yeah, anyway.
Cool.
So I suppose we should throw to Tasha, right?
Let's kick it. Kick to Tasha. We got a lot of things to cover here.
There's so much to cover. Really fun talk. Super pumped to have Tasha on. So, without further ado, the month of bulk continues.
Bulk!
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the tease portion of the Unkind Rewind, where we are getting to know our next guest, Tasha Crawford of SVU POD, especially Heinous. So this is a weird meeting of SVU podcasts.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel left out. I need to quickly make one. Oh, all right.
There's more out there than you'd think.
There are.
Is there room for one more?
Probably.
Jump on in.
Just make sure you're not stealing someone else's idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it extra special.
I guess, Sean, say your name so everyone knows which voice is yours.
Hey, this is Sean, if you have never heard it before. Yeah.
This is also Sean, so that's weird. Just kidding. It's Tasha.
Yeah. I'm schizophrenic.
And then my Munch My Benson co-host is Adam Schwitters.
Yeah, hey, this is Adam. Glad to be back.
Adam's been away.
Adam's looking for Curly's gold down in the American Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found 2 nails in my tire today.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I got a great tire shop. Only $10.
Nails, no gold, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
But yes, Tasha.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
That is really open-ended.
You can take that wherever you want.
Well, I know you guys obviously because we both have SVU podcasts, and I feel like my right arm is missing because Gabe's not here.
Sure.
My co-host of SVU POD, especially Heinous. And yeah, we do this out of Madison, Wisconsin. So we're right in the middle of the country. Been doing it since you guys started Munch My Benson.
Yeah.
Sames. So around
pretty much 4 years.
20? We put We put it out May of 2020. We put out our first episode. Yeah. But yeah, when you sent me this email for this show, I was so fucking pumped, dude. It's just such a good idea. It's such a good idea for a podcast.
I hope excited.
So. I think it is. I think it's amazing. I feel like a lot of people are going to want to tune in for it. I mean, I read the email and, you gave the premise, and people listening obviously probably know the premise. Sure. But I read the premise and I went, oh my God, fuck. There's so many movies that I've been obsessed with for years and years, but I do like all the Rockies. I make sure that they're annual, in my rotation. And there's so many that I just continue to watch. And so picking ones that I loved but hadn't seen in a long time was challenging.
What's your Rocky order?
You mean of
preference. Power rankings.
Your power rankings.
Okay, so obviously Rocky 4 is number 1.
Yeah, and we end at Rocky Balboa. We can't include Creed, so just the straight 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wouldn't include Creed, although, and the most recent Creed, obviously that has nothing to do with Sylvester Stallone, but that's neither here nor there. So Rocky 4.
4's 1?
Yes. This is from the absolute best down.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it could change day to day. The dust has really risen because my son has now super gotten into the Rocky movies.
Fighting people?
Yeah, just in the street, though.
So he's a big Rocky 5 fan.
He is. Yeah. He watched it, and I'm just like, this one's not like whatevs. Like,
it's because of the kid parallel.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Because it's one of, he's watching Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn and fucking like Nickelodeon shows and whatever. But
in 4, the kid has a robot. That robot is awesome.
Well, it's Polly's robot, but
okay.
Yeah, Adam.
Not to
Jesus, Adam.
Actually.
Fuck up.
Okay, so it goes 4.
Oh, by the way, that robot in 4. Once you hit about season 17 or so, it's going to be in a fucking episode of SVU.
That same robot.
Sean, I didn't ever confirm this, but it might or might not be at a hot pot place on Bowery somewhere.
Ooh.
So you might have to go check it out.
The deal was the restaurant that they shot at actually has the robot.
Yes, it's a greeter robot.
But they don't fucking show it in the SVU episode.
Yes,
the deep dive revealed the robot. I need to go in.
It's Real Fake News is the episode. When you
Let's stick with the order.
In 10 years.
Well, okay, I'm gonna get there in a second. Okay, so this is on the side. First of all, there is a hot pot restaurant in Madison that has one of those like little robots. Second, I have not seen a huge chunk of the later seasons of SVU because I gave birth to a baby and all of my safety anxiety just poured into this kid. So I've seen random ones, but I could not watch kid shit for years. So a lot of that stuff's going to be new for me. And also you said Bowery, and I am so deep into the Tortured Poets department, Taylor Swift's new album. And I'll take that laugh and I'll set it aside. Doesn't matter. It's the best thing that she's ever done. But anyway, we don't even have to go down there. But you said Bowery. And there's because you kind of went, So
no, she's been invited on this show.
Yeah, we invited her on the pod.
We would gladly have her on.
Yeah.
I used to live above a Taylor Swift bar for the last 4 months I lived in New York.
A Taylor Swift bar.
She's got an open invite.
Anyway, this isn't like, I'm like, who's niche that I'm really into?
Sure.
No, but no, you said Bowery, and there's all this stuff with the new album and Joe Alwyn.
Oh, we all know.
You guys know. Okay, great. Great.
Joe.
I'm sorry for assuming that you were like,
yeah,
because I'm.
No, you're right to assume that because we are crotchety fucks, but...
No, it was more of like a, don't have to get us going, girl, kind of.
Yeah.
I love that. See, I don't run into a whole lot of...
crotchety fucks, yeah.
Straight cis guys that are of that opinion.
Swifties?
Yeah. Yeah, and my husband's like a total
Adam,
Swiftie,
show your tattoo.
Yeah. Hold on. Well, it's not really appropriate.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah.
Full back, but it extends.
Yeah. It's like full back, but ass also.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you said full back, but it extends, I didn't need you to give that like.
No. I want everyone at home
extra lower back.
Full butt cheek.
Yep.
Finish it. It's got a nice little.
Josh likes to rope in the 0.4% of people who didn't get the joke.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, so we've got that all covered. Great. I could go on for the next year if we're going to talk that. But let's do the other thing that I can do that on, which is Rocky. Rocky 4 is number 1. Rocky 1, that's controversial because 3 is really incredible and like heart-wrenching because of Mickey's death. But Rocky 1 is what put it on the map. And that was like the first movie he wrote, and he fucking got an award for it. I mean, it was a phenomenon. It was a big deal.
Right.
So it goes Rocky 4, Rocky 1, 3, 2. No, sorry. I forgot about Balboa. Rewind. Okay. Rocky 4, Rocky 1, Balboa, Rocky 3, 2, 5.
I mean, that 5's not changing. You said it could change day to day, but 5 won't change.
5 doesn't change. I did have to do another. It's ironically really good.
Don't be manipulated by the love of your child.
Don't let him twist your
You're not
opinions.
wrong there. You're not wrong there.
Yeah. Don't let the gleam in his eye or her eye like trick you into giving it like a real second chance. Like
Yeah,
you're right.
okay.
You're right. It's 6 out of 6 on that.
I mean, yeah. When at the end, what does he say to him? My ring's in the street. I'm just like, God. That's why it's ironically good, because I'm like, that shit is hilarious. You know, that's over the top hilarious, as in over the top the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great film.
I mean, speaking of I have the last scene of Rocky 4 tattooed on my body because that's how number 1 it is.
Nice.
It's also my full back down into my butt. Yeah.
As one does.
So
Is it like
Apollo Creed is rising up out of your butt
no,
crack, probably.
It's the
The ghost of Apollo Creed
it's, the
is.
ghost of,
Yeah.
it's very Casper in look. There was
Yeah.
a lot of artistic license there. So.
It's the full post-fight speech about if I can change and you can change, but it's
then everybody can change.
but it's in Constitution font, like all across her back.
Oh my God.
Is
When I
Nick
came
Quarry in
here
the
tonight-
crowd?
Yeah, Nick Quarry. Shout out Nick Quarry. Good reference.
That no one's going to get.
No one's gonna get
Well, Nick Cage is there, because he's going to steal it.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Anybody? No?
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
got it.
we're huge fans.
your husband
We're
better-
huge
Okay.
fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Hello.
I was on Jeopardy once, 2019, and I talked about Nick Cage in my bio section.
Yeah, his little intro.
Oh.
If Josh was a tattoo guy, there's no doubt Cage would be on his body.
Multiple. I have multiple Mandy shirts.
And that's why you caught Taming of the Shrew as your final Jeopardy question, Josh.
Josh would have more tattoos, but of course he's.
I didn't win on Jeopardy, so I don't have that money.
Well, you're also you're Orthodox. You're Jewish Orthodox, and don't want to mess with that.
Are you?
Still want to be. He still wants to be
he's
fair.
not.
No.
Don't listen to Sean.
I don't know. You guys are like so
Droll?
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I'm just like, it took me a second to go, oh, we're joking about the back into butt tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we joking about that?
I have permanent sarcasm is like my default. Like no one can tell when I'm being sincere or not.
Ah.
But also Tasha, like, seems like a pretty good blurb for this show.
Oh.
If we could use that.
Oh. use whatever.
We'll just kind of give like an emoji for the face that you made when you're like, yeah. I like that. Tasha's basically a celebrity endorsement at this point.
Yes. So obviously you host an SVU podcast
Yes.
with your friend Gabe.
Yes.
You live in Madison. Did you grow up in Madison?
Nearby.
Get super specific.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was a country road. The year was 1983.
Okay.
And I grew up in Portage, which is like 30 minutes north-ish of Madison. My parents still live there. I've got 3 siblings.
Okay. Are you the youngest or oldest?
Or middle.
I'm a middle.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just screaming for attention. I'm the middle. And kind of have been in this area, like bopped around a little bit, but have kind of been in this area. And my husband and I, we actually went to high school together. This is where he likes to jump in and go, she had a crush on me, but we like didn't hang out. And I wish I would have never told him that because it gives him like just one little leg up. No, it's fine. I did. He was a cool guy in high school. And I had Jenkos and a clunky, keychained backpack shuffling around.
Nice.
Now, is he Portage cool or cool?
Oh, no, he's cool.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Just
but
checking.
again, no,
I played a basketball tournament in Portage.
Oh, that's a whole different breed of Portagean.
Yeah.
Portagers?
Portages. Thanks.
I think that sounds great. You should trademark that ASAP.
I should. God, I have so much to do after this. But yeah, the athletes, you either are that or you're kind of a townie. But John was like a band kid.
Okay.
Which to me, I'm like, oh, cool. Because I was very theater and very like art. I was president of art club.
Okay.
And I'm like, he plays the trombone.
Does he still play?
He plays everything. John is...
Is he a band instructor?
No, he's doesn't do that. But he... No, he's been in a lot of bands, and he plays everything. He actually he was in WYSO, the Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Nice.
So he plays piano, drums, guitar, bass, everything with strings, a lot of ska instruments he can just kind of pick up. Everybody knows what I mean by that, right? We all...
Yeah. Adam was in a ska band, if I remember correctly.
No, I wasn't in a ska band, but I do play trumpet.
You played trumpet in a band.
I played trumpet in... No, I played guitar in a band.
I thought you played trumpet in a band.
In like school band.
Okay.
He managed a ska band.
Yeah.
I think that the math would put... I would do the same thing, Josh. The math would put me at you were in a ska band, but...
Yeah, and I really want to put that on Adam.
I'm not opposed to ska, but it depends on the wave.
No, I want him to be shitty third wave ska.
Yeah, I have a no third wave shirt,
I don't know enough about ska. Gabe was very into ska.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, oh, these trumpets are a lot. The brass section is a lot for me, which is...
That's very third wave.
Yeah.
But John and I didn't see each other for maybe a decade after. I think I was like 28 when we started dating. Through the years, we would run into each other at...
shows.
Yeah, mostly NoFX. We would run into each other at NoFX shows. I walked down the aisle to Linoleum.
Okay.
So to tell you, like, because it's very that. But yeah, so we would like hang out randomly at these shows, and then after I was a free agent, he was like, hey, come join my team. I'm embarrassed that I'm talking, so yeah.
He's like, I saw your resume and can't help but send an interview.
He's like, I watched your reel and it is impressive.
So you went from Portage. Did you go straight from Portage to Madison, or did you go to like a state school in one of the other college towns, or what was the post-high school path?
I never completed any college. I got really into drugs.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a paycheck to paycheck situation. Friends had an intervention for me.
Okay.
A weird one. It was very weird.
Most are. I don't think there's a normal intervention.
Oh, no.
They're all varying degrees of weird, but.
It was a crew of people methed out on a 4 a.m, smoking cigarettes on a friend's patio.
Yeah.
And like they all simultaneously, some very concerned and some in tears, telling me that, I mean, because when you're doing meth, you're all best friends, right? In my experience anyway. But this was like before I knew that what it was. This was long before Breaking Bad. I'm fucking 40. This was, I was 19 probably. And they were like, Tasha, we're really worried about you, And I mean, they were not wrong, but I'm going, we just did rails together. So what are you talking about, And they were like, yeah, but like, we're like recreational.
It's like getting cut off by your drug dealer.
Yeah. And I went, okay. But it was funny because that was the thing that made me go, if these people think that I'm too much, maybe it's too much. Yeah. And I feel super fortunate that kicking that was something that was possible for me, because it's a really tough thing for a lot of people. And it is really tough.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was just sort of getting in a lot of trouble and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, job-wise, I've done a million different things.
Same.
I taught preschool.
I've actually had over 60 jobs.
Holy shit. Yeah. I taught preschool for 10 years. I had a cake company, like just a one-person gig where I made 3-dimensional sculptural cakes for cool. Like weddings, events, things like that. But Gabe and I had been talking about, Gabe and I met when I was 22.
Was this in Madison?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on our pod. But she did not like me at first. And she loves to say that. And I'm like, I've accepted it now. But at first, when we would talk about it, she'd be like, oh, I couldn't stand her when I first met her. And I'm like, oh, my heart, Because I'm like, I met her and was like, oh, I love her and I want her to be my best friend. And she's like, oh, you were just like loud. And I'm like, oh, well. And then somehow it like wore her down. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now we're being buried together, so it doesn't matter.
Cool.
Yeah, so we met and we've been talking since 2015 about starting a podcast because I always wanted to do stand-up. And I did stand-up for like just a whisper of time, and my anxiety, it was just too much. You know how like stand-ups will say, or people that really are drawn to it, you know, they'll go, I got on stage and it was really scary, but, you know, I got off and I was like, I need that feeling again. Yeah. And I'm like, I would get on stage, black out, get off stage, and have to come down because I hated how it felt.
Yeah.
I'm an ex stand-up.
Are you? And what's your experience? What feeling would you describe? The first one or the second one or somewhere in between?
I know why a lot of stand-ups drink, because there was a couple times where I felt like this is where I should take, you know, like that movie thing where you're like, you take a shot and then you're like, okay, like my steady.
To steel yourself.
Yeah. Like I got
Mom
that.
Spaghetti.
My thing that would come up would be, I suddenly, like, closer and closer I would get if I was trying new material. If I knew my material, I was pretty much ready to go. But if it was new material that I was trying out for the first time, I would get, like, cotton mouth.
Yeah.
It'd be a really weird thing where I'd just be like, I can't talk. Like, I can't talk.
Was this related to not wanting to biff it or not knowing how it was going to go over, or combination?
A little bit of both, probably.
Okay,
but also, like, then it would just kind of slam water. And then the closer my bladder would get to, like, fail was when my name would be called. Yeah. I also had an MC at a pretty popular open mic. This is back when he was had a problem. He would get worse and worse as the night got on, and fumble names more and more. Yeah. So I became, if I went on the first half an hour, I was Sean McGrath. But at the end of the night, if I went up, I was Scott McGarth or something.
Did you ever have to go out on the street corner and try to hustle people into your set?
No, you don't do that.
He was doing mics.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But the nice thing about Portland was that you could get up pretty much 6 nights a week if you wanted. You could go, you know, Roscoe's, you could go the Boiler Room, you could go Suki's, you could go, these are all Portland, Oregon bars.
Yeah.
As opposed to like if you were starting in a big market where you put your name in a hat and like maybe they draw you. Yeah. And if not, come back next week. Like,
and you might sit there for fucking 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours and not
nervously waiting.
Yeah. And there's, you know, there's some good comics who came out of Portland who are around today, but
Funches is out of Portland, right?
Funches, Ian Carmel, those are both guys that I did stand up with.
Nice. Yeah, so I made the choices that I made, right? But there was always something. So I was trying to figure out something to do to like work with my anxiety.
Right.
And this works with my anxiety.
Yeah.
It's just the element of like needing control. And then all like my fucking mental health shit. That's all stuff that we've talked about too. So that's put a lot of, I don't know. It's just part of it. Similarly, I would get on stage and I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I remember one time I was getting up and Gabe was with me, and it was more of like a storytelling thing, but it was like it was just more around like a storytelling thing. So she's like, what are you going to tell? What story are you going to tell? And I told her, and she goes, really? And then they called my name, and I'm like, so I got up there and I did it, and I got off, and she goes, that was really great. And I'm like, you fucked me up like right before, you know.
Never fucking say that to someone who's about to go up on stage.
And you know, it's just her like honesty. She wouldn't have been able to pretend like, if she would have been pretending like that's a good idea, I would have been like, that's not, I can see your face. Yeah, we both have faces. But yeah, so like I was like, this is really important to me. I really want to do this. I really want to do it around comedy. But one, having her with me, as you know, having co-hosts and stuff, like we play off of each other. Yeah. And then it fulfills that thing of wanting to share content and jokes and fucking make people laugh and stuff like that. And I knew it was going to be an SVU podcast in like 2017. But then it was just trying to, one, figure out the premise, which I got down, and then making the timing work.
Right.
And it really was, I had a really intense manic episode. I have bipolar. I had a really intense manic episode, pre-knowing I was bipolar. And was like, we've got to fucking do this. We've got to do this. This is the most crucial thing that's going to happen in my life right now. And John's like, I can support you in whatever way you need. And so then I learned all the editing and all that stuff through that. And that's what like kicked us into getting it done. Otherwise, you know, we probably still wouldn't be doing shit.
Oh, if it hadn't been for the pandemic, we had been talking about it. Like Much by Benson started as a fucking blog back in like 2009. Yeah.
Oh, and when we found you guys, we were like, fuck, that's a good name. That is such a good name for a podcast. I think when we reached out to you the first time, we were like, God, that's a good fucking name for a podcast.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah, no one's stealing it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Well, Tasha.
Yes. So
Yeah.
memory can be a tricky thing. Getting to
Imagine you're eating a cookie and thinking about all the things that have gone before you, including films about goth witches.
Yes. So memory can be a tricky thing. And the movie from your list that we chose was The Craft.
Yeah.
Having not rewatched The Craft in ages, can you describe what you remember the basic plot of the movie being?
Okay. So I don't even remember all of everybody's names. So Sarah, I believe, the main protagonist.
You can just call them the actors' names too.
Or describe them.
Yeah.
Okay.
do whatever you want. But we routinely will not even refer to the character by the character's name. We'll just call them the actor.
Sure. I mean, I can pull up.
You don't have to.
The one with blue eyes.
The one, yes, whose mom, well, we find out later that her mom was a witch, right?
Oh, okay.
But she,
The one from Empire Records, right?
No, she's talking.
No,
I think she's
Fairuza
talking
Balk?
Balk.
no, she's the main antagonist.
Oh, she's got those blue eyes. That's why I said that.
So it's what? Robin Tunney, Fairuza Balk, Nev Campbell?
Ooh,
Yeah.
No,
right.
okay, I've got to pull this up because,
I
let's
forgot
see.
Nev was in this.
She might not be. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Was
she
this
is.
pre?
Yeah,
was
she
Neve
is.
Campbell? Was she pre? Yes, she is. Was she pre or post? Wild Things. This is
Pre-Wild Things,
This is
but
pre.
Party of Five was already a thing.
because she blew the fuck up at that
Mhm.
time. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, IMDb, fucking The Craft.
Not to be confused with Craft, by the way. Another movie.
Is it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I started
Started that one.
started my process. Yeah. What the hell?
There was also a Craft.
Well, there's a new one.
Oh, there is a new one. Oh, The Craft Legacy.
Yeah, Zoe Lister-Jones directed it at least. I think she co-wrote it also. But
Okay, full cast and crew. Here we go. Robin Tunney. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
you were in a movie with her, right, Sean?
Yeah, we were both in Burning Plain.
Okay.
I shared a shuttle bus with her a couple times from the hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
So she moves to this town. Her mom's dead. I don't remember when her mom died. She lives with her dad, and she's trying to make friends at this school. I don't even remember how she really got connected with these girls or if they sort of pulled her in. But Fairuza Balk, Rachel True, and Nev Campbell are a little squad of pals.
Okay.
And they're the hot goths. And Fairuza she's the Regina George of The Craft. She is goth Regina George.
Okay.
And they somehow get Sarah in on it. Like they need a fourth or something. And then they summon, is it Menel? They go to the beach and they summon this fucking demon or whatever to come and help them with the things that they want.
There are no wrong answers right now for this question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You don't have to be right.
Yeah.
yeah. This is literally just like I'm processing, trying to remember the Skeet Ulrich is there.
He's skeeting all over the place.
He's
Sure
just
is.
skeet, motherfucker. This guy is all over the place.
He's not even a character in the movie. It's just Skeet Ulrich walking around in the background.
Get away from craft services, dude. You're not. Yeah, I'm looking down the fucking cast list right now. Breckin Meyer. I'm like, what were you in the? I think he was another kid. Christine Taylor was in it. Oh yeah, she was the mean girl. She was a bitch to like. She was the mean girl to like the craft girls, and so they all had different things that they wanted. Right. Fairuza Balk was, living in a trailer with her mom. Her mom's boyfriend or stepdad was abusive, I believe, and so she wanted her living situation to be different. And Nev Campbell was covered in scars from some burn accident. So she was getting treatments and they were painful. And then True, that's her real last name, but I lost the thing. I don't remember what her thing was. And then Sarah, that's her character name, Robin, she comes and they're like, okay, we have a fourth because we need, north, south, east, west. They do the thing. They say the summoning, whatever. And all of a sudden, these things come true. Oh, I know what it was. She wanted that girl to stop bullying her.
Christine Taylor's character.
Yes, she didn't want to get picked on or whatever. And so they were like, whatever you do comes back tenfold. Whatever you like wish on someone else or whatever it was. So Fairuza's mom wins the lottery. Nev Campbell's scars just peel away after one treatment and her skin is amazing. And she comes to school just fucking 1996 little baby doll tops. She just went ape shit in the Delia's catalog, you know? And True was whatever happened with Christina Taylor. Christine Taylor, because she like made fun of her hair because she was black. So she was like making fun of, you know, just like racist shit to this girl. So she had said something about her hair. And then she walks by her and her friends and her hair is falling out. Like she's like balding. Her hair's falling out in the shower in the locker room and she's bawling and she's like... And then Sarah, she was like into Skeet Ulrich. Oh my God, he was in the movie. She was into him. And she's like, oh, I want him to like be into me. But he became obsessed with her and like really, really intensely obsessed with her. And like Fallujah killed her stepdad or something. Anyway, her power just got bigger and bigger and she became the bad guy.
I think like I'm really excited to see this. So, Tasha, don't give me the full ending of The Craft quite yet.
Okay.
But I think, like, what I know is, well, I've never seen this. I don't know where you boys land.
I've seen it.
You have seen it, Adam?
No, I've never seen it.
So, Adam and I are in a really weird boat because this movie, when I was in high school, was everywhere.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
Everywhere. I think it unfortunately may have been a little like sexually divided because I feel like the girls in my school lived and breathed The Craft, and I think that there may have been a little kind of stubbornness on the boys to quickly dismiss it.
Oh yeah,
as being,
hello 90s.
Hello unwoke 90s. But yeah, for me, The Craft was kind of a seminal event of 96 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
And I was working in movie theaters in 96. It was like one of my first jobs.
Yeah.
It was like box office #1 hit, right?
Maybe I'm misremembering this a little bit.
I don't remember how it did box office wise.
Yeah,
but it was very, very popular, especially on like home video immediately thereafter. Like it was very, very popular.
Yeah. And I mean, any movie that was like featuring women was considered a chick flick.
Sure.
It didn't matter like what the subject was. And you're in high school and it's like, well, a girl movie.
Yeah.
Around this time we had Set It Off as well, which was the girl
bank robbers
heist. Yep. Yeah, heist movie. Yeah. Also during my tenure at United Artists movie theater, rest in peace, I think mostly. I don't know if there's still one in Alaska somewhere, but for the most part United Artists theaters are dead. Was this a going to the theater experience for you, Tasha?
No.
So this was a video sleepover?
This was a VHS sleepover. Okay. My friend Amber brought her Ouija board.
Shout out Amber.
That kind of vibe. Light as a feather, stiff as a board was played unsuccessfully. But yeah, because in 1996, I was 13.
Yeah, we're about 3 or 4 years older than you.
Yeah. So I would not have been able to, I would have not cleared that with my very Christian parents. Like I would have not been able to go see The Craft. You kidding?
Did Portage have a theater of its own, or were you having to go to theaters in the nearest town?
Portage has a great little movie theater. Okay. It's family owned. I mean, it was like the place to go to.
Nice.
You know, on Friday night, you'd go to the movie theater and it would just be packed with preteens. Well, we would go in junior high, right? So I'm 13. I'm going to the theater. There's just no way I would have been able to see The Craft. But we're going to the theater.
Was it like one screen? Everybody saw the same movie, or?
There were 3, and then they expanded the theater. So by the time I got to high school, and all my buddies worked there too. Thanks for all of the damaged candy. Yeah. It was awesome.
I remember getting my friends into the movies, but I also remember like if you showed up, and I was an usher, so if you showed up at the little velvet rope, you could say like, so my brother's neighbor's friend knows your brother's classmate's cousin. I'd be like, just whatever.
Go in. I don't care.
I have no.
This is why United Artists Theaters is no longer in business.
I know.
Sean, there's a location in Brooklyn and a location in Sewell, New Jersey. So at least those two.
Yeah, I wonder if my employee hookup still works.
Right.
I'm going to go and try it.
Yeah, I was there 30 years ago.
I just wanted to see if my jacket was in the back.
Try to squeeze into like my shirt, like my employee shirt with my, I don't know if that would work. My name tag. Yeah, but I remember Craft screenings being fucking packed.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now, do you think that Kraft would have played at the theater in Portage? Because I'm assuming
Kraft,
it made
not Kraft.
The Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that it did because they do all of the like bigger movies. Because by the time I was in high school, there were 6 screens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is before the Dells kind of got bigger and whatever. And Wisconsin Dells, people were driving from Wisconsin Dells and Reedsburg and all these smaller areas around Portage because the next place to go see a movie was Madison.
Okay.
And so people were coming, you know, it was a pretty hopping little place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing that it did play there. But I would not be surprised if in 1996 it didn't.
Yeah.
Because it is a very small, insular, Midwest town, you know, and there is a very conservative vibe there.
They don't go for witchcraft.
Witchcraft is, well, that's a foothold for the devil, honey.
Yeah.
So.
The Harry Potter movies didn't play there. So what do you think you were like at 13? And through, because obviously you didn't just watch this once, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think the first time I saw it, I bet I was 14 or 15. Whenever it came out on VHS,
Sure.
I was a slick little shit who didn't get in trouble, but was getting in trouble, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Knew how to walk the line a little bit?
Yeah, well, because, you know, my family was very conservative, but I was like, I'm going to go spend the night at Mary's house. And then we're just like tripping our dicks off in her bathroom, just like eating acid. And you know, we experimented with drugs a lot, did a lot of drugs.
Where were you getting these drugs?
So Portage is on the interstate.
Without outing the person and, you know, putting them in prison.
Well, I had a lot of sources, and a few of them are dead. So I don't say that lightly. I just say it's a fact.
There was an usher at a movie theater in St. Paul that was letting people in. He was a big drug dealer. Just more things that are going to incriminate me later, basically.
A different usher, not me.
Yeah. We had all the good stuff.
So we were getting, I don't know, I mean, older kids, high school kids, but, you know, we were getting, Portage is on the interstate, right? It's like right off the interstate. So it was a really great drug traffic through town between Chicago and Minneapolis. It was a stop. And so, like, we couldn't get cigarettes or beer, but we could get drugs. We could get acid. Acid was a big one for me in junior high and into high school a little bit, but mostly like 8th grade. So like around this age, you know, 8th grade or whatever, I'm very 90s. I'm in, you know, the fat pants. I loved Korn was my favorite band. I did I gave myself a stick and poke Korn tattoo when I was right before I turned 13. So I'm 12 years old, doing this fucking stick and poke. I had it lasered and got it removed.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I got it lasered, and then I have another tattoo that kind of goes over where that was at. But I had a buddy who he was making fun of. You know, we were going back and forth, whatever. This guy I've known since like kindergarten, and we're going back and forth. Talking shit, and he goes, made some comment about my Korn tattoo, and I'm like, dude, that's been gone for years. And he's like, you'll always have a Korn tattoo to me, Tasha. So,
what was the shelf life on you being okay with the Korn tattoo? How long were you okay with it?
Weeks.
Okay,
Weeks.
all right.
That's how people feel when they get a Korn tattoo today.
I hope so.
I should hope so. Yeah.
Couple 2-3 weeks, like, oh fuck. They come out of the shower, they see themselves.
Shouldn't have gotten a tattoo on a dare.
Nope.
Right. It was pointed out a lot. Not my favorite thing, but like actually wrapping my mind around lasering it off didn't click until I was like 23. So I had it for a solid 10 years, and people would go, yeah. Is it pen? No, I didn't write it on my forearm this morning in kindergarten handwriting. Like, no.
As Josh and Adam would attest, as opposed to Taylor, Korn has not been invited on this show.
Yeah, Jonathan Davis cannot come on the podcast.
So if they do want to come on, we will allow them because people still like Korn.
How quickly you folded, Adam. That was our one sticking point.
I mean, I'd be cool with it. That guy has gotten, I don't know if he's gotten or if he just is, but the last time I caught a glimpse of something he was doing is just like some real conservative shit.
Yeah,
and I'm
really?
like, yeah.
So Tasha, your Christian family would probably throw the craft under the bus, but did the craft in any way contribute to some off-the-books behavior for you?
Yeah, dude. Because they were badasses, you know? And it was like, I'm a badass too. So we're running around our shady little town, getting in trouble and not damaging anything, really. But just, I had like a false bravado. And it's like, to get into the therapy of it, it was like a protective mask of just like, I'm fucking tough, don't fuck with me, kind of energy, as much as a fucking 14, 15-year-old can have that.
Right.
I have an image of 4 like empowered women walking down a high school hallway, four abreast.
I mean, that is a scene in the movie.
That is.
It
I
is.
think that's the poster of the movie, isn't it?
That's how I know most of these movies I haven't seen is by the poster image or the box art, is what we would say. Was that a Tasha move after this kind of movie?
I mean, I didn't look like Nev Campbell. God, I'm trying to...
Were you at... Because I believe they're at a... Is it a Catholic high school? Because I feel like they all have kind of the same dress, right?
Yeah, they were at some sort of private school because they wore that little uniform.
Despite your family, you were at a public school?
Public school. I did go to a Christian school in 2nd grade for 1 year, and that was a whole other...
Was it a, like, wrap the knuckles with a ruler type Christian school, or?
Did they kick you out because you were doing acid?
Can I...
2nd grade?
Can I pause you? My kid's school's calling me really quick. Hang on.
Yeah, go for it.
Of course.
So, when was the last time you saw The Craft, do you think?
I was probably in my 20s, but honestly, I cannot remember. But I was probably in my 20s having like a nostalgia moment with one of my high school girlfriends who was also very into the movie.
And may have been an intended rewatch or just kind of like, this is on, okay.
Yeah. Like, let's get into this. But yeah, one of my best friends who were still tight, we were like, if there would have been 4 of us, we would have thought we were those girls. But there were 2 of us, but we were still like, we would have cast a spell over the school.
You needed a coven.
Yeah.
Did you have one character that you saw yourself in more than any of the others?
I mean, I have the most main character, like, fucking ego energy. So, you know, Sarah, obviously, I am the real witch. But there's probably a little bit of everybody because I think they all represented different parts of a young high school girl.
Sure.
So, like, the insecurity of the girl with the scars and the girl who is getting picked on, you know, for being different. And the main character coming in with her whole, like, I don't want to say holier than thou, but she's like, oh, I'm here to fix it because I'm good. I'm Glinda and you're Alphaba. Yeah. And then Farouja is like that fucking...
The evil girl.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that just... she made it. She made it. And I don't think anybody else could have played that character. But she plays that kind of role like nobody else. But there's a desire for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think it was about The Craft that appealed to young Tasha?
I think just that it was a bad bitch-centric movie about girls.
Mm-hmm.
It was less about the witchery and witchcraft than it was about the girls themselves and kind of the, I don't know, I guess the endorsement of having that attitude.
Yeah, I think the focus, for me anyway, like the witchcraft and stuff was cool because it was stuff that was out of my wheelhouse at the time. And there was a different element besides the group of girls in high school. They're either cheerleaders or they're good girls. They're very protagonists. This had a real element of like this dark thing is good. You know, it can be good. These are good kids. These are good people. And it was this element that came in. So, and it was also one of those things that was like a forbidden cool too, you know, where it's like, oh, this would be thrown out with the Prince CD if my dad got a look at this. You know what I mean?
Did the Prince CD go into the trash?
I updated it. He actually threw my sister's Prince. She's 9 years older than me. And she had Prince on a cassette tape. And my dad was like, this is trash. And threw it out the car window.
It's so good.
It is good.
Which tape was it? Do you know?
I don't remember. I was like maybe a zygote. I was tiny. But it was sexualized. It was that was not for consumption.
So if you lived in Minnesota, maybe it was just a Wisconsin, Minnesota thing. Because he would have had more respect for the Lake Minnetonka.
I think it had more to do with the church, but yeah.
Get this Minnesota trash
out of here. It was basically, you know, Packers, Vikings. to him to get out of here.
I almost was drinking out of my Prince mug instead of my Nick Cage mug.
He's the Prince to you, though, Josh.
Yeah. Josh, you been to Paisley Park since you've been back?
No,
you should go.
It's expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Find the lost tapes, Josh.
There are vaults.
I have some Purple Rain sheets. My wife got really into the Paisley Park merchandise page.
Nice.
Yeah, they're not very comfortable.
I bet not.
But that's where Max came from.
So what memories do you have that stick out most about the craft? This could range from personal
An image
experiences
like
with
I
the
had,
movies.
yeah.
Hanging out with a specific friend or friend group to watch it. Anything that specifically sticks out.
Summoning deities afterwards.
Well, the actual watching of it, I don't have like a very specific, because it was on a regular rotation. So it was just kind of one of those things. But the thing, if you say the craft, I can like feel what I felt like. And the amazing CGI split cut of the main character with Skeet Ulrich and her like wiping her face and going back to being Fallujah, and she like shakes her hair out and he's like, oh my God, because she was chameleoning, whatever, like magic being another person. And I just thought about that because we were like, oh yeah, we'll do the craft. And that image always pops in my head. But this time when it popped in my head, because I was thinking about the way that things change and grow, I'm like, that's sexual assault, dude. That's fucked up.
That's a single white female move, I believe, too, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Well,
and a Revenge of the Nerds move.
With magic. Oh,
it's a Revenge of the Nerds move for sure.
Yeah. That's a movie that I watched a ton too, and I haven't seen in years and years. But I mean,
that one's super rapey. Yeah. Okay, so what expectations do you have for your return to the craft?
I believe it's going to feel very over the top, but I don't think it's going to be as cringy as a lot of other teen movies from the 90s. I don't think there's going to be as much of that. I'm sure like the Skeet Ulrich love interest thing and like the we're cool guys stuff, that's going to be awful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to just make me just like pucker inside of myself, but I still think it's probably cool. And I also think that I'm going to look at Fallujah Balk as more understood than because it's like this person is evil.
Sure.
Like this is a bad person. But I think that there's a lot more nuance to her character that I would be able to like be aware of now, just with like years of therapy and growing up and whatever.
Right. We're all informed by our traumas, I'm definitely much more empathetic now than I would have been.
Oh, yeah.
When you were 14?
Yeah. Sure.
I should hope so.
I mean, even at 20. I mean, Christ, when I met either one of you two, I was a much bigger fucking asshole.
Don't sell yourself short, Josh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Much bigger asshole. Like, I'm still plenty.
Yeah, I think you mostly worked night shift then, so you were fine to me.
Anyway.
But yeah, very relatable content on that because I feel like the older I get, the more I'm like, it's so much energy to put out to be an asshole. It's a lot of energy. Not to say it's still one of my favorite things to do. It's a great pastime, but it was one of those things when I was younger, my friends would, if they were going to introduce me to somebody, they would be like, she's a total dick, but that's just, and I liked that. I don't like that now. If somebody were to say that now, I'd be like, oh my God, I need to fucking readjust my shit. Hence, anybody between the ages of 7 and 25 are just like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry. We're very different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not an asshole, but fuck off. Don't try to talk to me.
Seriously.
Okay.
On that note, we will adjourn to reconvene next week.
After we all get skeeted, right?
After we all get skeeted.
I'm trying to get Fallujah.
And this is going to pair pretty hilariously with our last movie that will have dropped, which is Return to Oz.
No, nice.
Oh.
Where Fallujah Balk is Dorothy.
Yes.
Young Dorothy.
Wow.
She's young Dorothy.
Weird.
That's her first major role was Return to Oz when she was cast in that when she was 9.
So your next one is definitely going to be The Water Boy. right? This is just our...
We're just gonna work our way out.
Yeah.
It could come up.
It's just a Farouja Balk podcast now, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's her world. We're just living in it.
Right? Yeah.
And the weird thing about Return to Oz was that Skeet Ulrich is also in that, like, lurking around, which is...
He's not.
But just in the background, in the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
He's like the ghost in 3 Men and a Baby.
Fucking
He's a
craft
weird-
service, man. Get the fuck out of here, Skeet.
He's skinny. He needs to hit craft services.
Yeah, he needs to put some meat on his bones.
Yeah.
How many dumb jokes do you think they made about that while they were filming this film? We'll figure that out.
Craft services.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The craft services. Yeah. Yeah.
Get it? Yeah. Cool.
Well, cool. Thank you for joining us, Tasha.
Thanks for having me.
I look forward to watching this again. I've certainly seen it in the last 10 years, and I've seen the newer one that Zoe Lister-Jones did as well. So
I did not
Adam
watch
and I
that.
are
We're in for a
as of
treat.
right now. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about this film since I probably scoffed at it on my way to the art house, in junior year of high school.
God, I was such a pretentious fucking asshole.
Yeah.
then.
Oh my god.
Big
We're gonna
time.
bring our Ouija boards though next time.
Oh my god.
I'll
I'm gonna
have
show up in
candles
full
burning.
goth makeup.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I
Going
should
to-
show you guys my family's Christmas card this year. We did full goth.
Nice.
So I should show you guys that. But it felt very reminiscent of like this was a cool girl to me, like very 90s. Oh.
Right.
Did you steal like the background aesthetic of Melania Trump's White House Christmas celebration?
No, I did a very over the top like holly jolly Christmas backdrop.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it was like white furs and snowflakes and just reds and whites and whatever, very family. Little Christmas trees, all kinds of stuff, and then it was us.
You all look like Edward Scissorhands. Like,
Yes,
crying
yeah.
in the corner.
My husband was wearing a Cure t-shirt.
Nice.
We all had kind of a different vibe, but kind of like mine was very craft. Darla's was very craft. She had this like
Choker.
lace, this black lace choker on, and
Nice.
looked really Victorian baby kind of thing. And John and Jacoby looked straight out of the 90s. It was great. Yeah.
Did John go full Robert Smith with the hair?
No.
Okay.
What was he wearing? Was he wearing a beanie? I don't know. But Jacoby's was very swooped to the side, really,
Nice.
not full Cure, but it was a very quick costume
Like
change.
Gary Oldman from Fifth Element, where he has that haircut, right?
The hard over with metal.
The hard like slicked over thing. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, God, what was I just gonna? Anyway, yeah, I'll see you all next time. Full goth drag.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Tasha.
Thanks, Tasha.
Yeah, thank you. This is
Thanks
fun.
for having me. I'm excited to hear your guys' perspective on it.
I think it's gonna be great.
It's going to be amazing. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
You've just listened to another installment of the Unkind Rewind podcast, mining and potentially ruining your childhood for content, one film at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcast production and can be ingested wherever you listen to podcasts and on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate and review Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Yelp, IMDb, Consumer Reports, Google Reviews, and TripAdvisor. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @Unkind Rewind Pod on nearly every social media platform that makes sense. If you had a question, concern, complaint, or positive feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com, or you can join the lively Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue with the pod may just make it into the next week's ep, so chat away. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to another Unkind Rewind.